Hello friends, this is Pakman. I hope you guys are enjoying your demonstrations, your practices, and experience with psychokinesis, healing, and energy. Today, we will talk on the subject of psychokinesis and electromagnetism. We always should appreciate these universal existence because these are based on complex intelligence. And these, in return, is one of the keys to influence objects and other stuff in this case. We could observe through our new technologies such as crystalline photography and such other similar imaging devices that electromagnetism is real. And on a side note, we all know that comments like 99.9% people say, I moved a pen. I was able to bend a spoon. I was able to close doors without touching it. I was able to achieve to the point where I was able to levitate a ball. The people who really experience these are rare and very convincing to themselves. Some of them question, some of them who study, observe, and learn know that this is real. But some whose assertions or belief are below credible these as fake. We cannot help them. We could give them example, show them our experiences, but cannot force them to believe. We cannot entertain their egos, because when we go out to prove a point, that is an ego overtaking you, which breaks a connection with the divine energy, the universe. But we do share experience, and unless one is ready to open their minds to believe in these experiences, we cannot force them to believe us. And it is good not to force anybody on this paradigm. Then also assertions or statements like, I can do psychokinesis, but cannot control the direction of a side wheel. In reality, they are not considered psychokinetic or a psychokinetic practitioner, because we all possess electromagnetism to a point. Everyone's level is different. Some of them is very low, some of them is high, depending on how they developed it. You can only call yourself a psychokinetic or psychokinesis practitioner when you develop these and have no doubt of how you interact. Small example, if we put our hands together close enough to feel the magnetic pull and push, we could feel the electromagnetism. And you put something in between, such as aluminum foil, a paper, a side wheel, The interactions between those two hands is just like as magnet or magnetism. It doesn't mean we are psychokinetic or become a psychokinetic practitioner. We just observe that there is something happening. That is the beginning of become observant of electromagnetism or psychokinesis. To become psychokinetic, we have to go through learning discipline of the mind and accumulation of practice through visualization, inner energy, and such, that will allow us and leads us to move objects clearly on the entire lateral, like sideways, edgewise positions. The more we indulge and practice, one hones to evolve to the next level, to a levitational spectrum, or to a healing spectrum, where we are able to help others. Therefore, circumstances like Psywheel are excluded as being psychokinetic. On another note, if someone goes out in the world and claims to be psychokinetic, most of others want to see the proof. It is your choice of awareness of one with their electromagnetism or magnetism. You guys are doing really great in your practices. I am proud, I am happy to see one's involvement, to tame your ego, but do not dwell on their comments, break you down or bring you down, because we are not here to prove people. We are not here to need for acceptance, because all these does affect our vibrations, our state of mind, and either it could break you or it could make you. So you always have a choice, and how you train your ego and understand how it operates, it will make you a better person, a better being, and let you evolve throughout your time here in this world. So we do encourage our students to have a mindset of recording not to prove, but only for observation, self-observation of how we are learning and growing. And if one needs to share their experiences, we could share to inspire others of what we honed. There are also other scientific devices where one can observe, such as the tri-field meter for magnetism, and other navigation devices that we use in the forest or in places such for mapping. It can show and maybe use as an instrument of proof, where one can see the interaction of electromagnetism. The more our electromagnetism is built, the more interactions you can see on those devices. There are many scientific researches done by me, by many others in this field. So we know that there is something there which we call electromagnetism. In my experience, there is only one name for moving, connecting, interacting with objects and people and other fields, which is called psychokinesis. One name, psychokinesis. And due to the programming of the mind through media, through books, people like to label them and create boundaries, which is okay. It depends on one's mindset how we interpret these labels, such as electrokinesis, aerokinesis, geokinesis, and all sorts of Kinesis family. Many other respective fields of applications, and not our own ability. So always observe the mindset, how it works, how it creates separations, how it tries to break each other apart. But by the end of the day, this is all energy work. Psychokinesis depends on what direction your journey is and you take. I use electromagnetism, the function of psychokinesis, so to speak. And this is a kind of morphic field in which thoughts can act outside of the body matter, execute to the respective command that is given, the events in such activity that they are only controllable from 40 to 80%. Remember, a thought is an electron, a neuron. An electron has a magnetic field, but this magnetic field of a single thought, and most people are too low to take such influence on matter. Remember this. So, to take influence on matter, electromagnetism has to be developed by a biological process. The electromagnetic energy is usually emitted by a living tissue that is surrounded by our cells. It's within us that immense boosted by a biological process. So by aligning my hands to a target object, the energy field is able to move objects by the release of thoughts. You create that neuron, you create that reality through visualization, and you execute. You send that to the universe, send that to the object, and it executes. But also, much more complex things are possible, such as we know as healing, pyrokinesis, levitation, teleportation, and much more one can imagine. The rabbit hole just gets deeper and deeper as we evolve ourselves. You can see them performing in other groups. I've shown time to time of my students' experiences who like to share that they learn to discipline their mind and thoughts through practice, through exercises. If one needs to observe, we can also see psychokinetic effects with other people who perform in groups. And then they become great practitioners and become great healers. Some of them extend their journey to psychic healing, to become mediums, and their journey continues. Energy is always released by a trigger of visualization or visual thoughts, thoughts from the mind, and also hand movements, sensory receivers and emitters. So now, as you can observe what I mean, that the combination of thoughts once again, since everything is electron and vibration, frequencies, any object, any target within reach, within our connection, are subjected to connect through electromagnetic fields and commands of thoughts. And then matter that executed finally, objects and all sorts of things can be influenced and moved. Like visual, words, images, vibrations, mantras are results in psychokinesis, which can be used in fabulous ways. If you know anyone who wants to meet this level, who wants to train and have the patience to learn and see some great effects in their life and develop these connections or so-called abilities, kindly leave a comment